That's right, everybody. It's that time of the year again. Year in review. Year in review. It is that time of the year again. Uh, it always seems, or rather, it's almost a tradition now that every 31st December, I'm always making these, or at the very least, uploading these year in reviews to pretty much summarize what has happened over the year on this channel and overall on my life as well. Although I will say that yes, uh, obviously I have actually made an update about what has actually happened over the past year. Technically, I've done that on a video 3 months ago, I think. It is the titled "Long Awaited Update," but that was only for the first 9 months. But I don't think it really makes much difference anyway. Uh, with the past 3 months since that video, what I've been doing, there's not really much going on. Nonetheless, here we are on a year in review because this is a yearly tradition where, like I said, we talk about what's been happening on this channel and what's been happening overall in my life. So, yeah. So basically, I will say though that this year has been pretty much kind of like 2022, except I will say I feel a lot more freedom this year and a lot more liberating. I think that pretty much is the same. That's the same meaning. You have freedom, you have liberation. I think it's liberation, right? Liberation, liberating. It feels more liberating, right? Because I'm not really, I don't really. It feels a bit strange to use the word strapped, but indeed I do feel like I'm strapped in like some um, uh, cage or some sort. But I mean, it's not like I am forced to be in this cage, or rather, it's not like I'm trapped in this cage. I can get out of this cage, but of course, as again, all I've actually mentioned this in the update video, which I'll link in the description below if you haven't actually watched it. Um, the update video that I made 3 months ago, which I entitled "Long Awaited Update." Uh, I've talked about basically, actually, yeah, I think that video actually sums up what has happened for the majority of this year, which is that I've been dismissed from my polytechnic, and so now I'm just kind of like, no, I wouldn't use the word wandering around though, but I do go out. I go out more often now, in a more excited feeling, because I'm actually doing things that I really enjoy doing, such as this is where I want to get into some of the things that I've been doing for the past several months actually that I've ever since I've been dismissed from Polytechnic back in March. So yeah, so basically I've been going out a lot more these days. I mean, not a lot more. I'd say like obviously it's less than back in when I was still in college, but it feels like I am going out a lot more now, a lot more outdoors rather. Basically, cycling more now. I've discovered this year was the year that I actually discovered the Anywoo app. I've talked about this in a video in May, where I was where I cycled like 8 kilometers in a really hot afternoon, and the next day was the next day hit a fucking record high for the temperature. So I'll also link that video in the description if you want to go and check it out, where I cycled 8 kilometers in Jurong Lake Gardens uh, with an Annual bike, not with my own bike, because because Jurong Lake Gardens is really far from where I live. So yeah, but yeah, I did a lot more cycling, not just in Jurong Lake Gardens. I've also did cycling in other places as well, in other parks as well. Big parks, East Coast Park. I think East Coast Park is obviously the more well-known one to cycle in. I don't know about West Coast Park, to be honest, but maybe West Coast Park. Um, I'm just stating that as an example. I didn't actually go to West Coast Park to cycle. Although I do maybe consider want to go to West Coast Park to cycle, except the transport fares these days is really not looking good with the increase and whatnot locally. So nonetheless, I've been cycling a lot more at parks, in park connectors, whatnot, cycling here and there. I mean, I also do cycle with my own bike, but only for cycling to nearby towns and whatnot, and that's about it. I don't cycle my own bike to to Jurong. That would be really far away from where I live. So yeah. But other than that, beyond cycling a lot more this year, I've actually been finding a lot of food places. That's right, everybody. After cycling, not after cycling, but um, other than cycling, I mean, is that I've been finding some food places to go to for lunch, occasionally for dinner because some of the places only open for dinner. These are food places that I randomly find on Google Maps. I don't know if you guys do this as well in your own country or whatnot, or in Singapore, especially, or anywhere else really. You can go and on Google Maps. I'm just like bored and whatnot, so I just go and find like interesting eating places that has like a very quirky name or some goofy name like cheap and good mixed vegetable rice that I haven't gone there yet, but that is one place that I'm like, oh, cheap and good. We're gonna put that to the test. I'm gonna go there and see if it's really cheap and good. So that's one thing I've been doing as well, finding food places for lunch, and there's a lot of them that I've gone to. I wanted to do a video on it recently, but because I fell sick recently and now I only just recovered, so I couldn't really do the video for recommending food places. But I think I'll do that in the future. Other than that, I have been going on other than finding food places. I've also been going on more bus and train rides as well, which basically exploring a lot more of the sunny island of Singapore. And speaking of bus rides specifically, I actually have more bus ride videos in the backlog, which I still haven't uploaded. I have actually been uploading bus ride videos in the event that if you actually realize, sometimes when I don't have a video idea for the month, I tend to upload bus ride videos. Although you probably don't really know that, but that's what I'm actually doing. Sometimes if I don't have video ideas, I do actually put up bus ride videos because I do have some that I still haven't uploaded yet. So I might as well have that for the video for the month. In fact, in November, I've actually uploaded two bus ride videos on the double upload for in one day because there's quite a few. So I know that there's a lot of bus ride videos in the backlog, but I do have, like I said, a few. So not that many. Anyway, enough talking about my daily life these days. I want to talk about the channel stuff, but I think maybe it'd be good to also talk about events of this year. I think in just a brief summary because I don't have too much time here. But I do have time, but again, I don't want to drag on this video for too long. So events for this year, generally because I talked about events last year, so I want to actually talk about I might as well talk about events this year, but try to do at least a slightly better job this time. There has been a lot of events that happened this year. Last year, I know it's not very good to talk about war, but last year, yes. I mean, but it's like a kind of like a contrast, in a sense, to talk about. Last year there's the Russia-Ukraine war. This year we have that still going on, but not talked about as much because there is another war that just started up, which is the Israel-Hamas war, the Israel Gaza war. I'm not too sure what it is called exactly, but it's definitely Israel Hamas and whatnot. Okay, so yeah, so with that, there's even more inflation happening, guys. So in contrast to last year, I mean, inflation rate is still going about the same. You know, it's still inflation happening, but I think it's getting a little bit better despite this second war happening. But I don't know. It might not look very good after all. Um, but yeah, but that's not very something to talk about. Um, because I'm more of like talking about more exciting stuff and more positive stuff. And one thing that has definitely happened this year, at least in Singapore, was the fact that they remember early in the year they actually announced the Taylor Swift and Coldplay are coming to perform next year in 2024, in which Coldplay is performing literally next month actually. So here in Singapore, Taylor Swift is going to perform in March. Yeah, and it was such a big thing because it, because Coldplay and Taylor Swift, both of them each have 6 nights. They're gonna perform 6 nights here in Singapore. So because I mean we there's a lot of fans here in Singapore. So and I think the most hyped up one is the definitely Taylor Swift concert because that one clearly was a lot more fans. I think so. Yeah, and another event that has happened internationally as well, rather yeah internationally, but actually also close to home, is that we have the first Asian to win an Oscar Best Actress award, which is Michelle Yeoh. So very big a very big W as we like to call it for the region here, uh, for Asians, I would say. Yeah, I don't I don't wanna, I don't want to preach too much, but congratulations to her, of course. But yeah, I want to make a few comparisons also additionally to the last year's year in review video. I've actually I also said things about like okay, I think this will be a bit more now a bit more relating to the channel stuff. So I said that I won't be able to make many videos this year. Last year I said that. So this year, however, I still managed to make a lot of videos despite saying that don't think we'll be able to make a lot of videos. But I still managed to make out with 15 videos this year, including this video, of course. So, but I think there's like I think at least 3 bus ride videos this year. So I don't know whether that counts, but nonetheless, the total video count for this year is at 15. So it's still a lot. So which means I do have plenty of ideas in the backlog. Excluding bus rides, I do have some video ideas. I just haven't got to it yet due to my due to me doing my touching grass activities. I do touch grass quite a lot now. If you do realize. So yeah, and I also said that I actually kept track of political news as well. And guess what? This year provided some really spicy political news. Okay, if you live in Singapore or you know the Singapore news, I'm sure you're kept up with the really interesting political news earlier in the year this year, July. Uh, July, yeah, July, August. A lot of stuff that happened during that period of time. But yeah, either way, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I don't want to, like I said, I do not want to drag on for too long. Although this is pretty long already, but nonetheless, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this year. Generally, this year, yeah, I feel more freedom. I've actually said, like I said earlier, I said what I had to say in the update video uploaded 3 months ago about what this year has been so far, or what this year has been generally. Okay, but to sum it up, I do feel a lot more freedom. I don't feel like very demoralized in a sense because when I'm in college, although it's still there's still glimmer of excitement whenever you're in college doing certain stuff. modules and whatnot. But I think this year has been a lot more relieving of that. I don't, because I'm not going to college these days. Um, and I feel a lot more relief, more freedom in a sense. I'm not like I don't have to worry about work that I have to do, deadline that is literally in just a couple hours. So it does feel a lot more liberating. And last year I said that even numbered years I actually feel more excited, more high spirited. But now this year, although I think last year I did mention that, after I said that remark, that hopefully 2023 will be a good year, and it does seem like it's holding mostly true. Yeah, that this year is uh, is a lot more exciting. It's an odd numbered year though. Despite being an odd numbered year, it's still a pretty exciting year to look forward to. Um, Although I mean it's going to end, but definitely this year I felt a lot more excited, a lot more high spirited, and a lot more looking forward to things, because every day is just I get to do something that I enjoy, uh, and yeah, it's pretty much what it is. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this year's year in review. How was your 2023? Leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video.